Welcome, John, in studios today to talk about the Carnegie Museum. How are you today?
Pretty good, Steve. How about yourself?
Great to have you in. I was sitting here. I'd forgotten, and that this is about me and it's not about you. I had forgotten that you were going to be taking over for a month or two.
Yeah, for at least 2 months.
As Dave's gone. So we're happy to have you in here. So let's talk about the museum. I know that the museum was actually closed a bit last week and earlier this week, opening up on Tuesday. How did Jake occupy his time?
Well, he was tired of the cold immediately. And I know that from Jake. I knew he was going to be cold anyway. So him and his lovely bride took a trip south.
Well,
so
fantastic.
We gave him the week off.
That's great.
He needs it once in a while. He's pretty passionate about the museum, so he needs to get a break and clear his mind once in a while.
As someone who is a very bad board member of the foundation board, it's exciting to see someone with as excited as Jake is about some of the projects he takes on. I thought it was going to be very tough to replace the excitement that Schaefer brought.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But Jake has done a great job. And the other thing I think is interesting that Jake's been able to do is to do a better job of incorporating social media and getting the word out about the Carnegie Museum.
Absolutely. He's really been on that lately, and he posts when he's at the museum, he'll post something on Instagram and Facebook every day. Many times it's a picture of a building that we can't recognize or some people that we can't recognize. So if people want to go on to those accounts, our Instagram account is Carnegie Museum Fairfield, and our Facebook account is at Carnegie Museum Fairfield. So I'm not on either one of those, so I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on those two. So, but my wife does have it, and I have seen some of the photos, and it's really cool because then you can get input from the community if they say, "Hey, that's my grandpa in there," or "That was my aunt at a certain building." Or
by the way, it's X now.
Is it? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I still call it Twitter as well. No, I love seeing those posts that he puts on. It gives you a different perspective of the downtown area. But then also, absolutely. I think in the last week or so, he's posted, or last few weeks, he's posted photos of homes that were built in one location and then actually moved to another location, which I find is interesting.
It's pretty wild because there's some big homes as well.
It'd be massive places.
Back then, moving those big homes like that must have
stately homes.
Needed a lot of logs back then to roll those.
So anyway, if you're on social media, and we know you are, Facebook and Instagram, you can follow that, and you can also see some really cool things as well. The other thing that I know he's taking on is a project to find what must have been a special edition of the paper back in the mid-'60s.
I believe so. It was a 1964, which was our quincentennial, if I said that correctly. But there's a complete 60-page newspaper that came out that year, and Jake has a bunch of partials of it. And he's used that for so much information on trying to and piecing together different items, different pictures. But if anyone happens to come across that complete 60-page newspaper, we're really looking to get one of those. We have a lot of all the ledgers, most ledgers, but we just can't find the complete 60-page one from 1964.
Do not leave until I check my archives here. Okay, I'm
Sounds
not
good.
Making promises, but I know I have something. And it's so it might be of interest to you.
I see.
Again, we're talking about the Carnegie Museum. By the way, the museum is opened. Is it Tuesday through Saturday?
Yes, Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday, weather permitting. And I think, as I've mentioned with Dave every month, it's amazing how the attendance has shot up in recent years. And one of the things that Jake's been really active in doing is going and find groups to hold their meetings or reunions in the museum.
That's right. I believe he said the class of 1983 came in this year, last year, of course.
Yeah.
And what we can do there is we can have your class reunions come in. They'll have a place they can sit and chat, have some coffee. There's a place for family reunions if someone wants to have a family reunion there, a nice place to meet. And we can do educational tours because I don't know if you did when you were younger, Steve, but when I was a kid, I remember going up to the third floor and seeing all the different artifacts from the Smithsonian and things like that.
And the Buffalo Head.
And Buffalo Head.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that people remember about the museum that I talked to.
I don't want to put you on the spot, John, but real quickly, do we know who the family farm's going to be honored here 2 weeks from today?
I believe it's the Angstead family.
Oh, that's right. It is.
I knew we just had the Skeeter Heidi family in, and we had like 40 people in attendance for that,
For
which
that
was
one?
really cool. That's the biggest one I've seen so far. I know
Well,
that-
Skeeter's very popular.
yes.
I have the first Friday of every month, Trooper Jason Marlowe, the Iowa State Patrol, comes in the studios, and he restores trucks, and old trucks, not old trucks, but early 70s pickup trucks. And he stopped in one day, and he was asked if I knew Skeeter Heidi, because he had a carburetor and he'd be rebuilt. And I said, yeah, but allow yourself at least an hour
Yes.
to drop off the carburetor, because Skeeter can talk.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about any of his racing or drag racing until afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
He after we left at 9:00, and he was heading up to Des Moines to a swap meet for the next day.
Yeah, still
So-
going strong out there on Dewberry Avenue.
And also, we do film those, like we're filming here today
yeah.
for the Fairfield Media Center. And if you go to YouTube and type in, I believe, Fairfield Media Center, it should be the things that pop up.
So now, not only for Chamber Talk, but now for our monthly visits with the museum, you'll be able to see the best back of the head in radio.
Yeah, and that's absolutely. Thanks to our new board member, Jason Strong, for setting that up. He's
So,
a part of that.
I know we talked about it last month. You are on the city board now?
Just the museum board.
The museum board.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, the two boards. There's the foundation board and the city board.
Oh, city board, yes.
That's what we call it. That's how I call it anyway. So, and how's that? What inspired you to do that?
Well, it's just I've always had a deal for old architecture. My dad worked at the old Loudon building, and then I worked there for about 15 years at a company, and I would just find old artifacts and things like that, and it just always inspired me. And then I went in to talk to Jake one time, and he showed me around of all the things that they're doing and all the help they need with finding things and figuring things out, and I fell in love with it.
Speaking of architecture, I think that's kind of the highlighted display downstairs now in the, what are we calling that, the Gobble Gallery?
Yes, downstairs. Yep.
But a lot of the photographs that have been posted recently on Facebook and Instagram are of some of those classic, stately Victorian-style homes that were built in the early part of the last millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, again, we've been talking about the Carnegie Museum here in Fairfield, a block south of the Hy-Vee Studios, Tuesday through Saturdays when they're open, weather permitting. Jake is back and back at it again. So again, the one thing on the hunt, a complete 60-page newspaper from 1964. Do we have a date area in there?
I'm sure it's probably
Summertime?
It's summertime because that's when they have all the festivals. I remember when the sesquicentennial was. That was in August back in '87.
Quasquacentennial.
Yeah.
So is that
125.
125?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else before we let you go?
I think that's all I had for today.
All right. Be warm, okay?
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. We'll see you at the museum. It's interesting. We thought about having a spot saying what's new at the museum, which seems weird, but because it's a repository for different items from our past, because it's a museum, but the things are ever changing there, so you can literally go and see what's new at the museum. All right, 13 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got markets just around the corner here on KMCD Classic 96, and I'll look at your forecast, and CBS News at the top of the hour. Plus, we've got a little bit of time here. We'll slip in a few classic country songs here on your hometown station here on KMCD.